The knock at my door wasn't unusual, but the bundle on the threshold was. Small, wailing, wrapped in a thin blanket. My sister's handwriting scrawled across a note. "I can't. She's yours now." I didn't ask questions, I just closed the door and held her. My parents watched silently, nodding like I was expected to absorb someone else's life. "She's your burden now," they said. Their eyes never met mine. I swallowed the bitterness, tucked it away, and whispered to the tiny weight in my arms, "We'll be okay." Years later, that burden became a battlefield. My parents filed a lawsuit, claiming I had turned them against my sister, that I had orchestrated separation. 10 years. 10 years of single nights, scraped knees, and whispered bedtime secrets became the evidence they tried to twist into guilt. But I had prepared. I remember when it started. My sister had been the golden child, charismatic, untouchable. She smiled, everyone smiled. I adored her. I followed her footsteps, mirrored her laugh. Then she disappeared. First it was excuses, then lies. Phone calls went unanswered. Holidays were stolen. And finally, the baby appeared, and with her, the truth I'd been ignoring. Betrayal doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers and leaves rubble behind. I didn't cry, I didn't scream. I calculated, I watched, I learned. Every interaction, every message, every hint of their plans, they left footprints. I cataloged them. Legal records, financial statements, text threads. Years of quiet observation became ammunition. My sister had thought I'd been weak. My parents had assumed loyalty was blind. They had misjudged me. When the lawsuit papers arrived, I smiled behind my calm facade. The courtroom smelled of polished wood and borrowed authority. My parents' eyes were sharp, accusatory, but my gaze never faltered. I let them speak first. Every word was predictable: indignation, false righteousness, feigned heartbreak. They didn't know that I had already written the final chapter. Then I handed the judge a sealed folder. The weight of it in my hands was reassuring. The rustle of paper echoed louder than their accusations. His eyes widened as he flipped through the contents. Financial manipulations, hidden accounts, falsified documents, years of correspondence proving deliberate deception. And at the center, the proof that my sister had abandoned her child intentionally, leaving me legally unassailable. "Do they even know what you have?" the judge asked. I nodded slowly, calm, measured. The room fell silent. My parents' faces drained of color. That silence was more eloquent than any argument. I let the pause stretch, let the tension tighten around their lungs like an invisible vice. I spoke finally, soft, precise. "Everything you claimed, every lie you told, every moment you tried to rewrite the past, none of it matters. I kept her safe. I kept her loved. And now, justice has the proper weight." They opened their mouths. Words failed them. My sister's eyes flickered between disbelief and fear. The child on my lap looked up, oblivious to the storm, her small hand curling around mine. That moment, I realized, it was never about revenge. It was about truth, about the life I had built in spite of their betrayal. The courtroom emptied, leaving only echoes of their silence. I walked out with her hand in mine, a life stitched together from pain, resilience, and quiet triumph. No one clapped, no one celebrated, but I didn't need them to. I had already won, where it mattered. Outside, sunlight fractured across the city, sharp and honest. I glanced down at her, her laughter spilling into the streets like music, untarnished by the past. I breathed in the weight of my victory. Not loud, not dramatic, just complete. The folder? It was more than papers. It was evidence of their misjudgment, a mirror reflecting every calculated step I had taken while they slept in ignorance. And in that reflection, I saw myself, steady, unbroken, finally free.